In the last video, you saw me get the EJ20X ready for our yellow STI hatchback. And in this video, we are going to be installing it, getting the car running, and doing some tuning, hopefully. That may be in the next video, but we will see anything else that needs to be changed for this engine. And then, of course, first start and driving. All the good stuff, so make sure you stick around. Kinda just gotta guide stuff in as you're slowly dropping the engine in. All right, we're looking pretty good. I forgot to mention I do also jack the transmission up with a floor jack, so that the transmission is at the correct level when putting the engine in. Come on, baby. There she goes. First thing I'm gonna do is you can actually remove, let's see. You can remove this thing from the slave cylinder, and we are going to push our clutch fork that way and seat the throwout bearing into the clutch, and then go push our clutch pedal and make sure it works. Uh-oh, it doesn't feel right. Uh-oh. There we go. Now she's locked in. Just had to push a little extra hard with that ACT clutch. All right, let's sneak this back in here. Come on, baby. Will you come hold this? Thanks. Come on. Holy shnikes. Oh, 1 second. All right, I'm gonna get this back in here. It's just gonna take 2 hands and a pry bar probably. But once I get this back in, we'll test the clutch pedal. Got the boot back on and the little push rod in. Let's test our clutch pedal. Moment of truth. Oh, nuts, I just kicked my side skirt. She works. There's definitely something wrong with this one. I bet you this has the firewall issue. Look at this brake pedal. That is not normal. What do you think about that, Ben? 11:35 p.m. Crazy town. Another OverTake USA. All the nice gaskets. Don't cheap out on gaskets. You'll regret it. Buy the good ones. Maybe. We've got a lot together here, but we have a couple things that we need to do before we put the intercooler on, before we put the alternator on. We've got a new oil pressure sensor that we are putting in, just a different gauge, so I have to put in a new sensor, obviously. This has a goofy setup where it's the OEM sensor and this aftermarket sensor, which I actually kind of like, so I'm gonna leave it, but I gotta make sure this is just lightly in here because I gotta make sure that the alternator clears it. I believe it will. Then this I kind of already have ran and just put right here. We'll have to run that inside the car. I have a different wideband gauge I'm putting in. So we're gonna have to do that because we have to route it up through here. We don't wanna do that with the top mount on. So those are 2 things that we're gonna have to do. And I also might as well route my boost gauge that I'm installing while the intercooler is off, just because it's way easier when it's not in there. But other than that, our downpipe's in, heat shield is in. We're looking pretty good. We're gonna keep picking along. We are gonna have to build some new fuel lines because we're adding a flex fuel sensor, which I believe is usually mounted down here. So that might be what we're gonna do, but I'll show you how I build that as well. Let's just keep picking along. Might show a few clips of the gauges here and there, and then more when we get to the fuel system, and hopefully first start in a few hours here. We'll see how long the fuel system and such takes us. Here's our new gauge setup. I had 2 of these in a car, and I decided to buy a 3rd, and we'll give them a try. We got oil pressure, we've got boost, and we've got air fuel. Here's all the wiring for it. I am going with this gauge pod. I really like these. This is just 3D printed. I bought it off eBay. I will, if you just search up dual gauge pod for this gen car on eBay, you'll find this, and that goes right here. So we're gonna pop that vent out, and then I currently have this AEM wideband. Works great, I have no problems with it, but I'd like to try the Pro Sport and have them all match. So I'm gonna pull this out, and we're gonna wire up the rest of these so that we can finish up in the engine bay and hopefully get this thing started pretty soon. All right, where do these go? What the? Seriously? Honestly, pulling gauges and installing gauges is kind of one of my least favorite things to do. So time consuming, but it's gotta get done. But you just gotta do it sometimes. What? Why does this keep shutting? What on earth? It's making me angry. All All right, partner's nearly half of it. What you got in your mouth? No. Come here, bud. You gotta go to the bathroom? Come on. Come here. Go potty. Good boy. Go poop. Actually, time for Dippy to eat. Let me go grab his food. Stay. He's drooling. Trying to get him to eat a little slower. He inhales his food. I know he's a puppy, but hey, gentle. All right, take a couple bites at a time, buddy. Chew it, digest it. Doing a little bit better. Fuel stuff. Well, our gauge stuff, we have all the things ran into the car that we need. All this stuff goes in the car, and we'll do that later. I want to get this thing running, or at least see if it does run, and we don't have any issues there. Now, onto fuel system stuff. This is our feed line. This is our return line. The flex fuel sensor goes, I believe, between where the return comes out of the engine and between that and the regulator here. So we're gonna have to route, this will route down to one side of the flex sensor, and the other side will route back up to the return line. Here's our extra line. We've got these quick connect fittings, and I've already got some heat shrink and some more clamps. So let's build this fuel system. All right, joke is on me. I don't have the right connectors. These are the right connectors for that and the factory lines, but apparently the flex sensor uses larger quick disconnect, which I probably should have known. So we are not doing the flex kit right now, which is fine because we do 93 tuning first. So I don't actually need the flex kit, and I'm not even gonna be able to do much tuning this weekend at all. So I'll just do this next week and order some fittings. So we're skipping that. Makes it easier. We can plug our fuel lines right in, and I think we're ready for the intercooler and radiator. We've got another wonderful part from the guys from OverTake USA. We've got the throttle body adapter, and we've got the intercooler, or turbo to intercooler adapter. I think we're gonna have to cut this down, but some nice parts. We'll get these tossed on here as well. All right, what I do when swapping on aftermarket stuff like this is I go look at these. All right, this is the exact same size, so I don't have to do any trimming on this one. That's gonna look real nice. Comes with supplied very nice hose clamps. Those backward numbers are gonna drive me nuts. Scratch that. All right, now this one, like I said, I think we're gonna have to trim. I mean, I would expect that we're gonna have to trim. Looks like, I think this is the part that is gonna be visible, so I think we're gonna mostly have to trim this. But what I'm gonna do, because I know this fits this car, or if you have a factory one, just line them up. You can get a good idea of how much you're gonna need to trim. If I line these things up like that, line those up, I'm gonna have to trim about that much. Be lenient when first trimming. You can always cut more. You can't add stuff back that you cut. We want this logo visible, so we're gonna, this part is gonna go just like that. It's looking pretty good that way. Now we're gonna trim some off the other side as well. All right. Whoa, tight fit. All right, let's see how we did right off the bat. Pretty good. It's a little longer. Actually quite a bit longer. We're gonna do a couple test fits. For sure, gonna do a couple test fits. All right, I'm 99% sure we're gonna need to do some more trimming, but we have to test fit in order to know what to do. So that is what we are currently going to do. Man, these air oil separator lines do not make it easy to get this intercooler on here at all. Honestly, I think we're good. So I'm gonna put this clamp on here. So in case we do get it on and we don't need to trim, we won't need to pull it back apart, if that makes sense. It needs a good coaxing with those AOS lines in the way. They are a pain in the butt. There she goes. Starting. There we go. Looking really nice. OverTake, like I said, go check them out. We got one or two more things that we're gonna put on from them as well. Our final beautiful piece from OverTake from the guys over there. We've got a radiator hose kit, black of course, provided clamps, overflow hose, sticker, and this one is packaged by Art at OverTake. Once again, go check them out. Great stuff. Other than some t-shirts and a sweatshirt, this is the last item we had from them. Forgot the hardware was in there. Good thing none of it really fell. You gotta go potty dip? Come here, come on. Come on, go potty. Good boy. You gotta poop? Come here. Come here, come here, bud. Go poop. Oh yeah, right in the flowers. Dumping one. Good boy. Come on, come on. Come here, bud. Come here. Hey, come here. You wanna be outside, you gotta be on your rope. Come here, come on, come here. Good boy.
Let's go! Bless you. Bless you.
Oh no, that was on camera. That was horrific. Chat, we're cooked. Did I say that? Did I use that right? Chat, we're cooked. Chat, we're cooked.
Shattered the fingers, too. Wasn't it much yellow?
Yeah.
Ooh, I should not do it. That's crazy. You should put tannerite in that engine block that's already blown up.
Really?
Yeah.
Why should we do that?
What?
I said, why should we do that?
For the fun of it?
Probably would be fun.
Obviously for the content now.
It's looking like an engine bay. If only she runs. And runs good. Very nice fitment. Dang, this is a completely different bracket. There we go. All right, the next order of business is load the new tune on the car. I guess we'll prime the fuel system right now too, or not. Why don't I have a pump? Oh well, we'll figure that out in a second. Not troubleshooting. Change map successful. Perfect.
Incarnation is on.
Hello?
Hello? He just blew up.
Really?
Yeah, that's so sad.
All right, because we had the oil pump apart and had a lot of this engine apart, we are going to do, we're gonna crank it over until we build some oil pressure. I do not have my oil gauge hooked up, but I do have the OEM pressure sensor hooked up, so we'll be able to see the little oil light go off when we build up some oil pressure. So let's crank it over. Hopefully sounds good. And then once we build some pressure, we'll go for the first start.
What were you saying?
I just had fuel pumps plugged in. I'm gonna turn the key and we're gonna smell and listen for fuel leaks first.
Okay.
Start it. You hear anything?
Nope.
If you just kind of sniff around the engine bay, do you smell any fuel?
I don't think so. No, I don't.
Yeah, be by especially by
Yeah, I'm checking
either
the
fuel rail.
injectors.
I don't smell anything either. Okay.
Moment of truth right here. Will the Wu-Tang come back to life? Now this is where we end the video.
Let's see if it makes any noise. Alright, gonna check for leaks. Everything leaks off. That sounds great.
Oh yeah. See smoking. Imagine if it was cam. Like if you could cam it.
I don't see any leaks.
You could definitely smell it.
Well, I spilled some coolant and there's always gonna be stuff that burns off.
Yup.
A lot of stuff has oil sitting on it. And so once it heats up, it just smokes really bad.
Yup.
I'm guessing the check engine lights for the crank sensor. Okay, that makes sense. He has this tune set up to have a flex sensor reading, and I don't have the flex sensor. Reading,
Yeah.
so, dang, Wu-Tang's bad. Hopefully she survives. That sounds so much different
Yeah.
than like the typical Subaru.
Yup.
I like it, I think, only because I'm so used to the other ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if I didn't hear anything and you put this next to another one, I don't think I'd like it better. But I'm just so used to the other one.
Oh yeah.
Gonna give it a little bit.
Ugh. Yeah. Moses, how do you fit in this thing? Goodness, Robert. Okay. How do you? I cannot get in and out of that thing.
I need to get new screws really bad. All right, let's give her a pop. Yeah, you're good.
Sounds nice. Yeah. It sounds about. I think you should put a bigger offset on it. Oh yeah. Yeah. How's she feel?
Feels good.
Yeah?
Sounds good. I like the equal length better. They're really different, but. Alrighty, first drive done. Thermostat opened, radiator fans kicked on, cooled back down. We had an oil leak and somebody forgot to tighten the drain plug.
Don't look at me on that.
Yeah, it was me. It was me. I forgot to tighten the drain plug. Never have done that before, but got it tightened back up. The leak stopped, unsurprisingly.
Whoa.
There's still more to do on this thing. I've got gauges to wire up. I've got some hella horns to put on. gauges to install. I got lots of stuff to do yet on this thing. So the video's not done yet. Don't leave the video. On top of all the OverTake products we've got some OverTake shirts. Let's see Anders open this thing up. Oh, I gotta put an OverTake sticker on. Oh, and the license plate frame. I do be tripping. All right, Anders, open this sucker up. Wow. Hope it fits you.
Dang, look at that.
OverTake, St. Paul, Minnesota. Very nice, that one's yours. Cool. I've got an OverTake license plate frame I'm gonna toss on, as well as an OverTake sticker. Not sure where we're gonna put it yet, but where should we put the sticker? Maybe right here? Right there. OverTake sticker right there. License plate delete, or license plate frame, obviously where that goes. All right, we got all of our gauges wired up last night. We've got our oil pressure, wideband, and boost. Now we need to obviously clean up all of our wiring, put our interior back together, get our radio put back in, and we're gonna be done mostly with the interior here. And I might be able to build the fuel system a little bit later today with some parts I ordered, and continue with some modification on this thing. All right, we are getting ready for the big Subaru meet, the opener tomorrow. Ben's out there washing the green hatch. Dang, she looking spiffy. This one will be next, but we're gonna build our fuel system. I got the parts I need. I'm gonna put the flex fuel sensor right there, at least for now. It's just double-sided taped there, and it's on there pretty good. So it's gonna stay there now. We're gonna take our return line, which is this one right here, and we are going to attach it to this port on the ethanol sensor. And then we're gonna 90, maybe down, and we're gonna run to our return line for the engine. I will try and show everything. It's pretty simple. And then we have to take our IBR kit and we have to mount the module, the little red guy down there, and we gotta plug in our harness, which is pretty easy. Yeah, let's get rolling on it. All right, so we've got our Dorman 800-080 quick connect fuel lines. This is gonna be different if you have factory fuel lines, but if you find the return line, which for me is this guy right here, which you probably can't see, that is okay. You just gotta find your return line. I am going to run from the return line. I'm gonna go under the flex fuel sensor, and I'm going to 90 up to the flex fuel sensor here, and we have our 90-degree connectors somewhere. Here is our 90-degree connectors. Now I just learned this. For all the factory STI, like hard lines and most aftermarket stuff, 5/16, which is what this is, I believe. Does it say 5/16 somewhere? It doesn't, but I'm 99% sure this is a 5/16 and will attach to all that. And I thought that was the same for the flex sensor, but the flex sensor is 3/8. The flex sensor is 3/8, so that's why I got these 90 3/8 that will attach down here. And I believe for now, I just need to unplug the return without spraying fuel absolutely everywhere, just like that. Now I'm going to run this. We'll see if this is going to be easy or not. My plan, when I thought that these were the same style or the same size connectors, is I was just going to run this right down to there, but that won't work. I might just need to build a whole new line here, which is okay. Yeah, we're probably going to need to do that. Not a big deal. So let's do this. Shrink wrap, optional, just makes it look nicer. And we're going to take one of our Dorman connectors here, push that all the way on. Now these clamps. Here's the kit that I bought. Hiromi 304 stainless steel single ear stepless hose clamp kit. I believe the size we are using is 3/8. So you'll need some of the pliers. A lot of the kits on Amazon come with them. And then clamp that sucker on there. I'm gonna heat shrink this off camera real quick, just because that's how far the plug away is. Okay, now this right here is we're plugging into our return line. I'm gonna set this fuel stuff down in here, and we got to kind of feed this up and plug it in. All right, that is plugged in. So here's my return line I just plugged in. I'm going to run to about right here. I'm gonna 90 up and just attach right there. So this is gonna be our 90, just like that. Let's see, we don't want it pulled super tight, so we'll cut it like right here. All right, now we're gonna do the same for here. Oh, also to clarify, this is a 5/16 barb fitting to a 3/8, so it's sort of a reducer, so we can still use our same size line but go to the bigger flex fuel part. Heat shrink, clamp, and our barb fitting, or our 90-degree fitting. Just like that. Now we want to align this correctly. So it's going to be just like that. Perfect. Get an extension cord because we can't pull the line off now. Shrink wrap this. Do not use an open flame near fuel stuff. Okay, we're gonna plug this guy in just like that. Now, need to go from this regulator. Actually, does it matter which way this fuel flows? I probably should have paid attention to that. It shouldn't. Should not matter. Now, is this, let's see how long this is. This, it's just like that. Yeah, it's not long enough. So we're just gonna need to build a new line, which is okay. We got the fittings for it. All right, flathead. We will use that clamp. All right, we're just taking more of our fuel line and we're going from the regulator down to here. And I should have bought a straight, no, that'll be fine. It'll be just fine. Let's just attach this. All right, we should be done with that regulator. And then this line is gonna go just like this, down to our 90. Let's cut it. The 90 goes just like that, right there. Woo! Almost got my fingy. Heat shrink, clamp, and our 90. Basically, just gonna go just like that. Perfect. Clamp. All right, just like that. Yeah, we're gonna need to make a bracket for that. Let me see how people usually mount this. That wasn't gonna work that well. Maybe we'll need to redo our lines, we'll see. All right, I made this quick, simple little bracket. You can see that bolt. I'm gonna bolt it into there. And then all I'm gonna do is go like that and get a nice thick zip tie and zip tie it just like that. And that'll be good for right now. I might end up making another bracket for over the top, but I want to get this thing going before this weekend. I don't have time to make a nicer one, so this is what we're gonna do. Sneak this bracket in here. Actually, let's zip tie the sensor to it first. That's gonna be way easier. Just like that. Little bracket made. Now let's bolt it in here. All right, flex sensor is bolted in. We might have a little extra line, but that's okay. Okay, I'm gonna zip tie a bunch of stuff together. Actually, scratch that. We're gonna set up the module on the fuse panel here, and then we're gonna run the wires for that, which I believe that is pretty simple. I'm gonna mount it right there. Mark it. Oh, nuts. Drill a hole, just like that. Just like that. Now, this plug goes right here into the IBR kit. Then our harness is going to turn. This goes to the flex fuel sensor we just installed right down there. And now this goes to your TGV plug, which mine is hiding. Thankfully, not hiding too much. Just like that. Now we can go to make everything look nice, because I believe that is the entire kit installed. Pretty darn easy. What do we got to do on this thing? This guy's got to get plugged back in. All right, I'm gonna zip tie all this stuff and then figure out what else we got to do. All right, we are going to check for leaks because we just obviously put some new fuel lines in. So we're gonna check for leaks and then make sure it runs. And there was a check engine light for an ethanol sensor or something low voltage because I didn't have the sensor plugged in and it was tuned for it. So we will see if that goes away as well. All right, let's see if she starts. No leaks and no more check engine light. Flex fuel install successful. Our next little project is, one of them is getting the fog light bezels back in here, and the other one is these hella horns. Now, I am not necessarily a hella horn fan, but I pulled these off a part out car and they match the car, so I gotta do it. I mean, I've gotta do it. So that is what is gonna be next. We're gonna pull the bumper off. That will make it easier to do the fog light covers. The fog light bezels, and we need to do that to install this. And then I'm gonna put an under tray on this thing, I think, and I don't know what else. I'm trying to think if I have anything else for this, but we will look here in a minute. Oh, I didn't know there's a dent in this crash beam. Look at that. The guy who owned it even put his name on it. It's just a flesh wound, 2019. 6 years ago. Wow. Just a little ding dong. Must replace the bumper at some point. All right, let's put these hella horns on and see how they look. Need to get the fog bezels on while the bumper's off too. Cannot forget. Now the harness on these hella horns, I believe, plugs directly into there, which is really nice. Clean these suckers up before I put them on. Okay, just like that. This one, grounding wire on that one. Plug it in, and then of course you gotta check to make sure it works, which is going to be loud. It works. Sweet. I think those will look nice. Let's zip tie this stuff up a little better. Sometimes it's just the little stuff that is it's just nice. All the fancy, expensive stuff isn't always what it's cracked up to be. Sometimes it is. Only way too long later. Let's pop this bumper back on and see how it looks with the hella horns. I think the blue kind of matches the Subaru emblem also. Might look kind of cool. Hard to see because of the lighting. I think it looks good. Just a little subtle difference. Matches the Subaru emblem. I'm a fan. Now that this thing is all running, we do have to do some tuning on it. We are going to be doing some 93 octane pulls for the tuner, and then once that looks good, we're going to switch to E85 and do some pulls with that as well, and that's hopefully where we're going to make our 400 horsepower. I'm kind of going to guess it would land in the upper 300 range, but I did find a shop that has a dyno locally. So in the next video, if you'd like to see some tuning of this thing and some dyno pulls and see some actual numbers, drop a comment and let me know. I appreciate you guys watching. If you're looking to fix your car on a budget, the EJ20X is a good option in my opinion. You have to find a good importer, you have to find a good engine, and you got to do the right stuff to use it for your car. Some cars don't use dual AVCS like these do, and you might need to delete the exhaust AVCS. I appreciate all you guys watching, and hopefully see you in the next video.